The stories a stadium could tell.
Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying.
I think anyone who puckers up their lips and presses it against their boss's buttocks and then smooches is an ass kisser.
I don't like newspapers. I don't care for inexactitude and shallowness.
Listen, hotshot, I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't care for you or for the putrid sludge you're troweling out.
You know what you look like to me? You look like a robe. A well-scrubbed, hustling robe.
You're just absolutely right, and I'm absolutely wrong. It must be nice to always believe you know better, to always think you're the smartest person in the room.
Leader Fan Radio Network, and KFAN.com. 1 minute and 45 seconds past the hour, 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time. By the way, before we go any further, that just jogged my memory. We got, just within the last 2 or 3 weeks, just like the is it the Storks or the Swallows that return to Capistrano? What returns to Capistrano every year?
It's the Swallows.
The Swallows, not the Storks.
Or the Salmon.
Maybe it's the Salmon. We got another one of those stories that if we had daylight saving time year-round, it wouldn't be daylight part of the year until like 10 to 9. So it would be pitch black when the kids are out there with the bus. Thank you for clarifying that. I had no idea that that was the case. I have said the official position of the host of this show is the system is working. Daylight saving this part of the year, standard time the rest of the year. And the notion that we lose several dog years because we have to adjust twice each year, mind over matter, my friends. Mind over matter. On a another beautiful, a little bit warmer, but still, I think, comfortable August afternoon here in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. The afternoon aardvark begins right now. Guardsy produces the show. My name is Dan Barreiro, and we are delighted that you are along for today's ride. Politics are vile. Bring ass for miles. Links are all smiles. Wolves in 5. Although it feels like right now it should be Lynx in 4. Are we going to even lose a playoff game this year?
I don't know. Well, the league will mess with us somehow. We know that. Especially after Fee went after the commissioner. I mean, that was even before.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
That was even, they jobbed us 2 years ago before all the stuff last year.
They've got she's on the list in New York. There's no question. She's on the enemies list. The Dick Nixon enemies list.
You know what? Are we sure? Remember, it took her a really long time to come back from these ankle injuries?
Yes.
First, we thought it was like early June, and now she finally came back right before the All-Star break.
You think we sabotaged her?
No, are we sure it wasn't the WNBA version of the Michael Jordan baseball suspension?
Oh.
Where David Stern actually suspended Jordan.
I see.
They were
the secret suspension.
Engelbert was going to suspend Fee.
Okay.
And they said, just have ankle surgery in February.
And don't play half the year.
You can come back in July.
And what they didn't count on was Olivia Miles.
They forgot about that.
They figured they'll be, by the time she comes back, we can't really be buried in this league. There's not enough teams in terms of the playoffs.
Right.
But certainly not in the position they are, but we fooled them. Miles fooled them. By the way, job by the officials, she's not on the national team.
I saw that.
Although, if you read the explanation, I'm okay with it. I'm not going to lose my mind.
There's usually a pretty legit explanation.
I'm not going to lose my mind. So, does that mean people like Chris Brennan overreacted to Caitlin Clark not being on the Olympic team, or is it apples and oranges in terms of the timing?
I don't know about the timing. I do think people overreacted to the Clark not on the Olympic team bit. Mm-hmm. I was fine either way. I didn't think it was the crime of the century.
I think we agreed on that one at the time. Yeah,
it made sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a case to be made to put her on regardless.
Sure.
If David Stern was still alive, she would have been on the team.
Probably.
There's not any question about that, but I'm not sure, like you say. In the list of Caitlin Clark travesties, I'm not sure that one should be in the top 10.
High. That was not high.
In any case. We're delighted you're with us today. It's, it's not a hugely busy show from a guest standpoint. We are expecting to open Dr. Dan's inbox beginning at, we'll probably run it at 5:30 today. Guardsy says we're off to a good start. If you want to contribute, JG at KFAN.com. In addition, we do have an in-studio guest, Andy Luger, former U.S. attorney, is scheduled to join us at the bottom of this hour. I should check my text to be sure if he's trying to get in yet. Usually he lets me know when he's here. What happened to my phone? Now my phone's out. What did I do? Oh, there it is. I didn't think the battery was that low. No, he hasn't arrived yet. But he usually will. He's usually very prompt. You know, probably our most prompt guests in studio in terms of getting here early. I'd put Glenn Mason 1.
Yep, I was thinking Mace.
I would put
Kessler's good.
Kessler 2nd. And I would actually put Chris Maddle and Andy Luger tied for 3rd, interestingly enough. So that's
makes sense.
That's commitment to the bit.
They're both punctual,
Much appreciated. Yeah. Well, I guess if you're an attorney, you have to be punctual, right? You got to show up when the judge says be there.
If you want to respect the court, and not get off on the wrong foot.
You don't want to be held in contempt of court.
Correct.
That's one thing I forgot to ask Maddle. My guess is Maddle has been held in contempt of court like double-digit times. Don't you? On the basis of his volatility?
Yeah, seems like it.
Now, maybe he's a completely different guy in court. Andy Luger, they know each other pretty well, even though they disagree on a lot of stuff. We'll find out today how many times Luger has been held in contempt, if ever, and if he knows whether we're right making that assumption about Chris Maddle. So there's a lot. I don't even know if Luger understands how much is going to be on his plate today. I mean, we might have to keep him for an extra half hour, maybe another day, depending on the schedule, because there's a bunch of good stories to discuss and get his reaction to. And that will begin, as I said, at the bottom of the hour. Here's the, it all depends. No, what did I say at the start of the show? The horns of a dilemma?
The horns of a dilemma.
Here's my dilemma.
Okay.
As not a particularly superstitious guy, I'm certainly not in the Lou Nanny stratosphere in that regard, strata.
I can't move, Francine.
But I think I'm sneaky. I think I have some sneakiness to my superstitious stuff.
You're kind of stitious.
Here's my dilemma at this point, and I'll give it to the audience too, because I know they're dying to answer this question. Generally, almost every day before the start of the show, sometimes during the show, I will send out a tweet. Before the show, it'll be show starts at 3. If I forget, it'll be show started at 3, and I'll still put the list down, at least a partial list. Because I think the reason I did the latter was I was superstitious. So I got to get it on the record because I always do it. Well, I never did it before yesterday's show. I never did it, I don't think, during yesterday's show. Did I? Or am I forgetting?
I'll have to go back and look.
I don't think. Who was on the show yesterday? No, I don't think I ever did it yesterday. Because it's a Kessler day.
It was a Kessler day. Did we have anybody else?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. So here's my question. If you're a superstitious person, am I still obligated to write out a tweet that said, yesterday's show started at 3, put the list down, or have I already blown it because I've had one since that is today, the show starts at 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you ruined it.
So is it ruined? Like, is there no... according to the superstition gods, have I already ruined any chance to get back even with them?
I think so. Yes, I think so. Now, I'm not a great superstition mind. I don't really have any quite like this. I have routines and things. But I think you've already messed up the sequence. But shouldn't it prove yesterday was a pretty good show?
Yeah,
I thought it was a very solid representative show. So if anything, it's like Dumbo the elephant with the feather.
So maybe I shouldn't?
You don't need it.
Oh, I don't need it.
You can take that off your plate.
It's going to catch up with us somewhere down the road that I didn't do it.
Do you think that you forgot to do the pre-show tweet because you were basking in the glow of the raspberry vinaigrette or ranch word salad tweet? You wanted to let that one breathe for a little bit?
I guess got very, very far behind schedule yesterday. I think it was more that. Although that's not a bad point because I did lose myself in that tweet. No question. Bumps got the snark. Listen to the Vark. Standard time is too dark. Wolves in 5. Well, actually, it's daylight saving time is too dark, but then that's probably too many words for the rhyme.
Yeah, usually.
Are we closing in on a shirt?
Seems like it. I mean, they're mocking them up.
Well, the hilarious thing was basically 3 days ago was you guys have 4 hours to figure this out. And then, like, we have all these ideas. Abbott had no idea any of them were on the table. And you know, suddenly again today, there seems to be some urgency again. I like both of them. Why can't we have 2?
Maybe we can.
Power Trip has 9, don't they?
For the first half of the fair, then they add a few more. Then something happens during the fair, and they add a couple late ones.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line is open at 646-86. Echoing Mike's, who's quarterback for the Vikes? Sharks and Jets, yikes. Wolves in 5. Now, there was a texter yesterday who said, enough with the Wolves in 5 bit. I'm tired of it. You've run it into the ground.
Yeah.
You've milked it. And I'd say guilty.
Guilty.
But I will admit to you, and I probably am not even objective, even though we didn't really start it. Obviously started with the Anthony Edwards Wolves in 5.
Yes.
And then our listeners just got in on it. They took it someplace else, and we enjoyed it, and we said, go for it. I'm still not tired of it.
I'm not either.
I'm not. It's still, because the beauty of it is, it can always be topical. It can be about what's happening now, or stuff we've gotten into lately, or that's why I think it has an endless shelf life, doesn't it?
So far for us, it has, yes. Because if you remember, Lakers in 5 was from over a year ago.
That's correct.
That wasn't this last
That's
postseason
correct.
run.
Yes, you're right.
That was 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago in 2025.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Shannon Sharp says Lakers in 5. And then Anthony Edwards took it. It's brilliant.
612 guy makes a good point. Daylight savings will gladly fly to Hawaii or Europe or California with multiple time zones in between for a fun vacation. But we lose our minds when we have to adjust 1 hour for daylight saving time or back the other direction for standard. It's a great point. I honestly believe that if you think you're affected dramatically by those changes twice a year, it has more to do with it's been put into your head by several studies, because we get those stories. It's one of the most predictable TV stories done every year on both ends around that time, right? It's got to do it, and study indicates it'll have this effect on your heart, it'll have this effect on your digestive system, it'll have this effect on whatever, and you go, and so you keep being told that often enough, you go, God, yeah, you know what?
I am feeling off.
It did take a lot of time for me to get over it, but we got over it, and in the meantime, isn't it perfect? On the clock later into the evening, in the summer, isn't that great? And then we don't want kids having to be at the bus stop in the dark at 9 o'clock in November, which is why you don't want daylight saving time year round in a place like Minnesota, right? We're fine.
I think we all, the world keeps spinning. We all just keep moving. And I'll be fine with whatever.
Bonus bucks?
Yes, the fan and BigDeck.com would love you to enter our national cash contest. The first keyword of the afternoon is preset. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword preset.
Bumper to bumper with
Andy Luger is starting early with us today. Like I said, always on time, just like Chris Mantle, just like Glenn Mason, just like Pat Kessler. In Kessler's case, though, let's be honest, he's got nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. In the case of Andy Luger, he's got a lot to do and a lot of other places to go. Correct? You're still very busy. Same with Mantle.
I am. I can't imagine that I'm as busy as Mantle because I'm not. I read about Mantle every day, and I don't read about me, which I'm actually enjoying.
Do you have an handle or an ex-burner?
I don't. Social media. So I've got my own whole rant about social media.
Go ahead.
No, we're all talking at each other a mile a minute.
Yeah.
And here, I want everybody to just stop.
Is part of it that you actually wouldn't trust yourself if you had it? That even you occasionally might go, God, why did I say that? Why did I?
That's a big part of it.
Right.
And when I got back to the U.S. Attorney's Office the second time, I asked that question. I said, do we have an X, what do we call it, handle, whatever? I don't know. And of course, they looked at me like I'm an idiot, and they said, we do. And I said, well, do I have access to it? And they said, you don't, because we really don't want you opining in the moment, in the heat of the moment, on social media. And I looked at them, I said, that's a really good idea.
It is, you're right.
Don't ever let me know how it works. And I think we'll all be safer and better off.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good way to go.
Very well stated. We've been talking with people old enough to answer the question, what was life like in 1976, over the last several weeks. That's our plan leading all the way up to the Great Minnesota Get-Together. And you almost immediately, one of the days, texted me that you had a life-changing moment in 1976. Now, was that just a really good radio tease that you were doing to suck us all in, or is it that dramatic?
So, I don't know. Guardsy, what's the over-under on the radio tease versus...
I think it's a tease. I think you got a little Showtime in you now.
Yeah,
so,
starting to build.
Actually, if you ask my family, they literally can't listen to this story anymore because they've heard it so many times.
Right.
No, I was in the car. I heard you, and when I got to wherever I'm going, I had to text you because, I don't know, everybody's got their 1976 thing if you're old enough. So it's a pretty. I'll try to do it quickly because you got a lot going on.
Yours was sports, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Sports and life.
Both. Okay, good.
And it's got a happy ending. So it's actually late 1975.
Okay.
I am the starting left guard on our high school football team, which, Dan, I will tell you, was my life dream.
And this was in
1975.
Where?
In Cresskill, New Jersey.
Right.
In a little town, 10,000 people maybe, 136 in my graduating class. So becoming the starting left guard, it's not big. But it's it's not exactly Ohio State.
Well, right.
But that was my goal, and I got there. And I will tell you, and Guardsy and whoever's listening, I had no other ambitions. There's nothing past this for me in life. And
so you weren't thinking then I want to be the next Clarence Darrow or anything like that. It was
not even a glimmer.
Man, that's interesting.
So I'm living this dream. I've got this thing I've always wanted to do. And it's late in the season. Coach comes up to me, Coach Charlie Kakuza. The whole town was Italian, a little Greek, very few Jews. And Coach, pretty much, he thought my name was Luga. Luga. Comes up, he puts his arm around me, he says, Luga. I said, what, Coach? And he says, we're playing North Arlington next week. And I'm like, yep. He goes, they got that linebacker. So they had a starting linebacker.
You sure that wasn't just an accent? Like, like some people say Luga in the East. It wasn't that. Okay.
All right. You got to know. You got to know Charlie.
All right, fair enough. Sorry.
So he says they have this all-state linebacker. Guy's a beast, although we didn't use that term back then.
Right.
He's big, he's fast, he's strong, and he's mean, and he eats, offenses for lunch. And they ran back then what was called a 4-4. I don't know what they call it today. 2 linemen against the guards, 2 linebackers behind the linemen.
Coach Walls would know what it means, but go ahead. Sorry.
See, there you go.
I keep throwing this stuff in.
So
I want to hear the story, Andy.
This guy, we don't call anybody by their name back then. It's all numbers. And I don't know, it's like 45. He goes, they got 45 back there. I go, yeah, Coach. And he goes, he's destroying everybody. Nobody can move the ball on him. I go, yeah, Coach. He goes, so I got an idea. Okay. And this is the longest conversation I've had with this guy in my life. And I'm just excited. I'm like alone with Coach Kakuza. And he says, so I got to play. You like to trap block. And you're good at it. Trap block, you cross the line, you trap the defensive lineman when he's not looking. He goes, we're gonna trap 45, the linebacker. We're gonna do a linebacker trap. And I'm looking at him like, okay, coach. And he goes, so we're going to fake a sweep to the right. At the last minute, flip around, hand it to the fullback up the middle. We're going to leave 45 untouched. You're going to pull out, and you're going to get to him before he realizes what's going on. And we're going to go right up the middle, and we're going to score yards. And it's like my whole life flashed before my eyes. Because this guy eats people for lunch, and we're going to leave him alone so Luger can trap him. And I'm standing there. I'm like, we're not going to touch him? No, he's going to be untouched. It's all you. I'm like, is that really a good idea, coach? And, this is great. It's going to work great. And he walks away, and the fullback is standing there, and he's looking at me. Mike Smith was his name, and he looks at me, and he's like, you don't get this guy? I'm dead. And I'm like, I think we're all dead. So fast forward, game, we practice it all week, and everybody's looking at me like, because I've got ambulances in my head. I've got whatever's going to happen to me. Get out there. We run a couple of plays. We get to like their 35, 37-yard line, our 35, 37-yard line. First set of downs. We substitute in our wide receivers back and forth. Mm-hmm. Kid comes in. He looks at me. He goes, run the play. Everybody knows what it means. And guards, you get this, right? So everybody looks at me because I'm either out, heading to a hospital or what?
Or a hero.
Nobody was thinking that. I guarantee it. So we get down, we run the play, fake right, quarterback spins around, hands it off and this guy takes the bait. And he's looking for the sweep. Last second realizes, but it's too late. I'm on him. I knock him down. Mike Smith gets 25 yards, gets stopped by a safety. Everybody goes crazy. It's like the greatest thing in the whole world. At that point in my life, that was the greatest thing in the whole world. Get back in the huddle. New wide receiver comes in. I'm like, I'm done. I did what you asked me to. Coach says, do it again.
Run it again. Make him stop it.
This guy, 45 or whatever his number was, he doesn't think we, fake the pitch to the sweep on the right. He's taking it again because nobody's going to do this twice in a row. I see his eyes as I flatten him a second time. We're now down to their 30-yard line. And nobody has gained yardage on this team like this. Place is going crazy. I got adrenaline coming everywhere. Third, go back in. Coach says, do it again. We run the play a third time. This guy is just staring at me. He doesn't care about the fake. He doesn't care where he's going to get me. I don't know what happened. To this day, I ran him right over. And we scored a touchdown. 3 plays.
3 plays.
Oh, I don't even know what happened the rest of the game.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. All right. So that sets up. That's late night 75. Last game of the season, I get elected co-captain with my friend who's the real football player, Bob. Into 1976, walking the halls, Coach Kakuza wearing sweatpants and a T-shirt because that's what he did, comes up to me, Luger. Yeah, Coach. Goes, what are you thinking about for college? I don't know, Coach. I'm not thinking about college. He goes, yeah. What are your grades? And I showed him my grades. He's like, oh, you're smart. He didn't know. I got it straight A's. Mm-hmm. At a school that nobody's ever heard of, so nothing to write home about. But I got, mm-hmm. What's your SAT scores? I told him. I was like, oh. He said, I'm going to call some friends of mine, send them some films, send them your grades. Is that okay with you? I'm like, sure, Coach. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And this happened right in the hallway. We had A, B, C, D hallways. That's the whole school. We're in the C hallway. 2 weeks later, in my kitchen, we had one phone in Cresskill, New Jersey. We had one phone in the house, on the wall. I tell my kids this all the time, on the wall. in the kitchen, and the phone rings. My mother's sitting at the table. I pick it up. Hell, looking for Andrew Luger. Okay, that would be me. Nobody ever said that before. The phone doesn't ring for me. And he says, my name is so-and-so. I'm the offensive line coach at Tufts University. Now, I've heard of Tufts University. Good to meet you. I'd like to invite you and your family to come up and visit our school, talk about maybe you coming to Tufts and playing for us. Yeah, I'm looking around, put my hand on the phone. Hey, Mom. Yeah. Offensive line coach from Tufts University. We want to go to Tufts. And she's like, shut up. Because
quite a believer.
Nobody was thinking,
right.
My family, nobody was sitting around like counting which school I'm going to. And I said, yeah, coach, we'll come and work out the details. Okay. Next day, phone rings, Harvard. And my mother, she's like, what's going on? And I said, oh, the coach said he was going to send out, the guy from Tufts. He ends the phone call by saying, good block. Every one of them got
Coach
a film.
sent the tape.
He sent the tape of that set of downs. And it went on, Harvard, Yale, all these schools. And I'm cracking up because, come on. And then the last call, barely understand the guy because he is heavy Massachusetts accent.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Ostendarp. But I won't even try to imitate the accent. From a place called Amherst College. I had never heard of Amherst College in my life. Did the same thing, hand over the phone. Hey, Mom, are we interested in a place called Amherst College? Little did I know, that's my mother's favorite school in the whole country.
Oh, man.
And she's like, no. I said, no? She goes, yes. But that's Amherst College. She just had this elevated view of Amherst College. Over Harvard and Yale and all these places I'd actually heard of. I said, yeah, coach, we'll come. So we start doing visits. We do this whole thing. Some of them come to our house. They're recruiting me. I mean, we're cracking up. And it occurred to me, these guys think I can do that all the time. So I say to my father, I'm like, Dad, because he came to the game. He saw it. My mother never went to a football game in her life. My father, because he hated it. Jewish kids don't play offensive line. No, absolutely. She'll say that to this very day. You play tennis. Maybe you're the quarterback.
Not guard.
There are no Jews on the offensive line. I said, well, we got one, Mom.
State Fair shirt.
Could be.
I got a shirt for you.
He's got a shirt idea,
I got
too.
a shirt idea. So anyway, I'll finish this up. I decided I want to go to Amherst College because I visit all these schools, Harvard and Yale, and they're stuffy, and I apologize to the graduates in the audience, but they kind of are. You watch a film about the history of Harvard football, like I could care less. Amherst, people were happy. It was great. And I literally say to my mother, I just want to be clear because I get into every place but Princeton. And I said, I just want to be clear. I like this Amherst place. You like this Amherst place. It's okay that I turned down Harvard and Yale that I've heard of for this place. And she said, absolutely. And because one of the crazy play, but more importantly, and I tell this to people all the time, Charlie Kakuza had no reason. I didn't ask him to help me. He had no reason to do this. And he sends out these films. God knows how he knew all these people. And I get into a school I would never have thought about going. And I can trace going to Amherst College is really the beginning of everything that happens for the rest of my life. And final piece of the story is sometime later, a college counselor at my school, I didn't even know we had them, we had two, calls me. He's like, Luger, come on in. Got to talk about some ideas for you to go to college. I said, well, I'm kind of pretty far down the line. He says, what are you thinking? I said, well, I visited all these schools, and I want to go to Amherst College. And he looks me in the eye, and he's, son, you can't do that. I said, well, I think I can. I mean, they've admitted me. He says, those people are really smart. And I get it that you're a good football player, but they're going to eat you alive. He literally tells me this. 1976. So here's what I do. And at the end of the story. That's all you got to say to me, is you can't do it.
This is as good a bulletin board material as I've ever heard about any athlete, from any athlete.
You can't go there. I call up the school. I still remember dialing. 413 area, 514, whatever. I get somebody on the line. I said, hi, my name is Andrew Luger, and I've just been accepted to your school. She said, congratulations. I said, I got a question for you. When you graduate at the top of your class, are there like names for that? Because I don't know nothing from nothing,
right?
Which I think I've made clear. And she says, son, you just got admitted to the most selective school in the country. Just take a breath. I said, no. And she says, well, we have honors, cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude. She goes, only a few people graduate summa cum laude. And then we got Phi Beta Kappa. I said, thank you. I will be graduating summa cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa to show that guy. It's the end of my story.
And?
I graduated summa cum laude and Phi Beta Kappa. I worked my tail off because when I got there, I found out how unprepared I was. I mean, I was really out of it.
So is the epilogue, you have to, I mean, if this is going to be a movie or even like a miniseries, the kicker has to be when you achieve that status, you went back to your high school and looked said counselor in the eye or handed him a document that said, I just thought you might like to see this.
Here's my diploma. And I wrote a long letter to Coach Kakuza, who left right after all this happened. He got hired by college to be an offensive coach. And I wrote him a letter about 2018, maybe. Handwritten letter. I had some FBI guys find him. He's in Arizona, retired. And I gave him I just told him the whole story.
Did you just say you had some FBI people find him? Is that legal?
Former FBI.
Oh, okay.
It's good clarification.
Former FBI agents. They can find anybody. I said, find Charlie Kakuza. They found him in Arizona. We got a golf course, whatever.
Right. Okay.
And I wrote him this long letter. And I gave my phone number at the end. He called me. And I said, you changed my life. And I've been trying to help people if somebody wants help, I'll help them. Because that changed my life. He had no idea, no recollection at all, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, sure.
But he was so gratified. I said, everything that's good in my life that happened from that moment when you stopped me in the hallway is because of you.
Gargi, have we had yet a better 1976 story?
I don't think so.
It's going to be hard to top this.
I have two questions. Well, one, did you block anybody at Amherst, or were you just back in the books? Like, how'd the football part work?
So we're practicing warm-up practice in August. We're doing 2-a-days. Freshmen, we're half pads, 3/4 motion, whatever it is. And linebacker named Brendan Patterson steps up while we're doing, this slow motion stuff and decks me. And I'm lying on the ground and I look up at him. I go, and I can't repeat exactly what I said, but it wasn't pleasant. And he just looked down at me and he said, there's no half speed in football. And I was a terrorist that year playing football. I was motivated. But I decided at the end of the year, because there was a lot to learn and I knew next to nothing, so I worked my tail off, that I was going to stop playing football, so I stopped after my first year. We were undefeated as a freshman football team.
It's a good way to finish it out.
Finished it out with my best friend, who then went on to become CEO of Cargill. Still one of my good friends today. We rejoiced in our undefeated season and we called it a day. We were math majors at the time. He switched to English. I switched to philosophy. And we looked at each other. We're done with football.
1976.
That's the year.
That's tremendous.
I'm imagining everybody at that game where you blocked that guy going, Luga, Luga, Luga.
Was there a chant?
No.
Yeah.
There was shock and a little bit of awe. And Mike Smith gets he ran it up the middle.
Yeah, sure, right.
3 plays in a row, scared out of his mind.
Yeah.
So that's my 1970s.
That's brilliant. By the way, 651 guy writes, there are no atheists in foxholes, and there are apparently no Jews in the offensive line. That's the saying, I think. I knew I'd heard it before.
Part of the saying.
Yeah, there's no question.
Look it up.
It's so good. Absolutely good. That's a great way to start. I actually have a follow-up on 76, because I think you want to get into some music observations.
Well, you've been asking people about like what
they listened to, what they watched, all that, and you have a better recollection of the music scene, the popular music scene in 76 than I do. I would have been in college then myself, but in any case, we'll get to that, and then we got a lot of stories we need your reaction to that are fairly current as well. Andy Luger, kind enough to join us in studio. Back in a minute.
You're listening to Barreiro on The Fan.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One,
is coming.
Andy Luger is back with us in studio. I want to read directly from the text you sent me regarding another aspect of looking back on the summer of 76 or the year 50 years ago. 1976 was a terrible year for TV and for music, truly awful, but set the scene for 77, which changed pop culture dramatically. You had me going on that. That's another great tease, because I lived through it and I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
So we had great music and great TV. 60s, early to almost mid-70s, 73, 74.
Right.
David Bowie was doing stuff. Early post-Beatles were doing stuff. Rolling Stones never stopped. And Dylan. And then you get to 76, and it's like we ran out of that stuff. And now we're into this stadium, fake, progressive, computerized. So I asked a friend of mine.
Give me some names. Who were you offended by?
We were all offended.
Okay.
So I asked a friend of mine, I'm like, what was the worst? And he's like, well, it's a long list. Kansas.
Oh, you're getting, there's some, Kansas fans are like the Bayhive.
God bless them. They're dead wrong. The biggest song on the radio, my friends and I stopped listening to the radio. That's when we started really buying 8-tracks and cassettes. So I got a lot of 8-tracks. There was a song by a band, I forgot about this, but he reminded me. Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes, I remember them well.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Don't fear the Reaper.
Need more cowbell.
It's a terrific single.
One of the worst songs ever recorded in music history.
You're going to you have no chance to be elected again once you go down this road.
Good.
Yeah.
Carry On Wayward Son is
Carry On Wayward Son.
That's a great song.
There was a song by I guess they were a band called Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy,
The Boys Are Back in Town.
Southern band, weren't they?
Yes, we just got back to
Yeah. Come on, man. These are catchy, hook-filled pop melodies.
I literally stopped listening to the radio. Then a fake band called Boston.
Wow. Scorched Earth from Andy today.
Well, I'm right.
Yeah.
So these are facts. This is, if you look in any, legitimate, what's the worst music worst year in music history? It's 1976. Now, 77, we kind of woke up. Like, people were like, we can't do this anymore. And Talking Heads.
Yeah.
The Ramones. Patti Smith.
Yeah, Patti Smith.
And the only saving grace about 75 and 76 was the sort of New Jersey sound, if I may say so, with not just Springsteen, but Southside Johnny. And so you had the Steve Van Zandt, Springsteen, Southside Johnny triumvirate going on. Obviously Born to Run in 75, which explodes in 76. And Southside's first album is 76, mostly written by Springsteen and Steve Van Zandt.
Would you consider it sacrilegious for me to suggest that Bruce Springsteen never improved on the Wild, the Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle? Would you be offended by that position?
I may not come back. Because, Dan, that's Dan.
It is, I still think that's well, I'll put it this way. That's my favorite album of Springsteen to this day.
That's different.
Yeah. Okay.
We have had hours, maybe days-long debates about what's your favorite Springsteen album.
Yeah.
You can say that.
That's different.
The Wild and the Innocent is a great album. To say what you said before, which I won't repeat, sacrilege is a dramatic understatement. So I don't know where we go. I think we got to put that aside.
You're getting deep. Oh, Thin Lizzy, by the way, I'm being corrected. Dublin, Ireland. Thank you. Get this boomer off the air.
Yeah.
What part of Joy does Luger hate? And then here's the kicker. Come on, man. The Eagles, Frampton. I mean, you did leave them out, although my guess is you found the Eagles in their country rock period way too soft for you.
Yeah. I
still enjoyed them. Sorry. I know you're not supposed to. If you're cutting edge.
Whoever texted that is right about Frampton.
Fleetwood Mac.
I can't stand Fleetwood Mac. I just don't like
early Fleetwood Mac.
I don't like the sound. I don't like their sound.
I'm not with you there.
I know you're not. It's okay. We can disagree about what you said about Springsteen. I'm just going to
you're going to have to just
it's going to take a while.
Compartmentalize that.
I got to get over that. But so I never liked the Eagles.
Even later, even Hotel California forward?
Can't listen to
Can't listen to it. Okay.
If it's on the radio, I hit the
So you can't stand Walsh then? You don't buy the notion that Joe brought a little bit of fire and urgency and rock to the countrified. Yeah. Okay.
Fake news. I get it. I get why people think that.
Yeah.
But Frampton, Frampton was fantastic. The problem was, because I got his book, Frampton then got sucked into doing the Sgt. Pepper movie.
That's true.
And it all went down.
Yeah, that was not a great film.
Or was it Tommy? He did whatever he did. He did a movie.
Frampton, no, I think he was in.
It just all went, because
Sgt. Pepper, I'm pretty sure.
Stigwood was his manager. It's all in his book. He's got a great book.
Yeah.
I just saw Frampton a couple of years ago. He was here at the State Theater. So I apologize about missing Frampton. Very good, but it was a bad year.
Who is this guy? He's a bigger troll than Nick Shirley. Man, whoa, it's a tough crowd. This guy is hammered drunk.
Really?
I'll defend Luga talking about 1977, Better for Music and Movies. Slapshot is February of 1977. It's remarkable how much I agree with everything Andy says, except his music take.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Rush is the GOAT.
Oh.
Rush.
So, look, this is not new to me. That for people who like that stuff,
right?
I'm just telling you what I think. Rush, Kansas, there's another Spirit. There's another one like that. But the whole Blue Oyster cult literally made me turn. All my friends.
But the Saturday Night Live skit, or the bit, that, right?
Yep,
the cowbell thing.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But
great.
that doesn't mean you have to like the song. That's true.
Can't stand it. Anyway.
That's very, very clear.
So tell your texters, we're all entitled to our opinion. Yeah. I just happen to be behind the mic today. So. Yeah.
Well,
I could lie.
You're here to be. You're answering what I asked you. What I said among the things we thought we were going to be talking about.
From that came Talking Heads and the Ramones and Patti Smith.
Here's the problem, though.
Yeah.
The problem is, the Boston fans are basically saying this show is now dead to me.
Oh,
so thank you. I mean, now I don't believe that. I think they'll probably come back. They're claiming they'll come back later because you've offended them. It's their favorite group from that period. Many people. I'm just saying.
It was the number one song.
Yeah.
Was More Than a Feeling was the number one song on the college playlist. When I got to Amherst and you went to a party, the number one song was Boston. And I had to keep my mouth shut.
I actually did not like Boston either, but I like some of the others.
I no longer feel like I have to keep my mouth shut.
No,
maybe,
that's probably true. All right, let's try to mix in.
Yeah.
If we have any listeners left, let's try to mix in some stories of the day or the last few. And I don't know how far you can go on some of these, how knowledgeable you feel, how comfortable you feel, but I certainly want to ask them. So we have what appears to be a drama playing out in the city of St. Paul regarding some allegations largely against the mayor and the man representing the police chief, obviously, already is a guy you know well who was just in that chair a couple of weeks ago, scorching earth, as Chris Maddle, as you know, is known to do. So what is your reaction to this story? How much do you think we know? How much more do you think we need to know? What's your thought or thoughts?
Well, I think we need to know everything. You know my approach to these things because we've talked about it before. An allegation comes out, and maybe multiple allegations. They need to be investigated. They need to be investigated by good people who are unbiased. Everybody gets to tell their version of events. And then hopefully we hear the full story. Now, I'll tell you, I know the St. Paul police chief very well, and I have the utmost respect for him. We dealt a lot together when I was U.S. attorney, and he was a man of his word, and I couldn't ask for a better partner, except for Brian O'Hara, which we've talked about before. But Axel Henry was just great. And so I credit that a lot. What I don't know is the full context, and not to I love the guy, but I want to hear the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And I said that after Renee Good was shot, and I've said that
on this
after Alex Preddy was shot. Not because I doubted that they were murdered, but because I want to hear the full story, and I've been in the middle of enough of these to know that. The thing that saddens me incredibly about all this, other than the facts, is that it's happening in St. Paul. When I was U.S. attorney the first time, Chris Coleman was the mayor of St. Paul, and we're pretty good friends. And I would say to him, whenever I want my blood pressure to go down, I drive to St. Paul because I like your police chief. I like your administration. You guys got your act together. And it was just not the chaos that I always experienced in Minneapolis. Even though I live in Minneapolis and I love Minneapolis, St. Paul was the place without these problems. And so this saddens me. Whatever the result is, and I don't know the mayor. I've never met her. It came out of nowhere. Good for her to win, but I can't go further than that because I don't know.
How do we thread the needle when it comes to attempting to evaluate, if you want to accept it on this level, this form of humor as, oh, come on, pendulum swung too far. We got to be able to kid each other and to always bring it almost immediately to it's a form of harassment. It's something that people in leadership can't do, those kinds of jokes. There may have been a time where you could, but they are fraught. What's the balancing act?
I look for context. I always wait to see the context. So there's certainly a bit of we've gone too far, you can't say anything. On the other hand, you don't have to be a genius to know that's where we are. So, I mean, I don't know how this came up, what the situation was. I'm not ready to say, I'm not ready to pass that kind of judgment that, this goes too far. You ought to be able to tell a joke, or no, you can't. How did it happen? How is all this happening? And that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for everybody's story, everybody's analysis, and then we'll figure it out. I mean, clearly some stuff has happened.
Right. We'll get to some texts reacting to your reaction, and we got a lot more ground, a number of other stories I want to at least try to touch upon. Andy Luger, kind enough to join us in studio. We'll start the 4 o'clock hour next.
Bumper to bumper.